Good evening, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. This is actually a movie review. Just watched a movie called Haunt from 2019. It's a decent movie. It's advertised as being horror, which I happen to enjoy usually, but it was more of a gore movie, and I think that there should be a distinction. My own personal opinion, but anyway, it was okay. And there's going to be a spoiler alert here. I'm going to talk all about the movie in just a minute, so if you're planning on watching it, maybe come back later. But anyway, movie starts out campy, a little bit campy, like a lot of horror movies do, and that's okay. Some of my favorite horror movies of all time start out that way and get a lot better, such as The Ring. I'm going to shout out to The Ring, original movie that blew me away. I love that movie a lot, but it started out super campy, and I was nervous it was going to be that way the whole movie, but it was not for sure. This movie kind of it got a little bit better, I think, but it never got to where I wanted it. It was a really good movie though, and I try to be generous. It starts out with this group of young people who are leaving a bar, I believe, and they end up across town, and they believe someone is following them, or one of the members thinks they're being followed, so she suggests they make a turn into a driveway, and it's not clear to the audience at this point where they're going, or if there's some kind of double cross, if somebody's in on something. Actually, for most of the movie, you're not sure if half the people or some of the people are in on it. Which it gets a little bit annoying because there's that possibility, which some plots include, and they don't rule it out fast enough for my taste. But beside that, they end up at this place on accident, apparently. It's a haunted house, or a haunted facility, I should say. Some sprawling, by the end of the movie, it's a gigantic compound or estate or whatever, with many, many rooms and a lot of area. So they, as a group, they enter this place. They sign a waiver, which kind of gives it an air of legitimacy. And then they begin to explore the haunted house in earnest. And their group is divided, and some things happen. And about halfway through the movie, they're still not clear whether or not it's everything's the way it should be, if there's something's not proper, because they're starting to wonder. It's legitimately scary in there, and there's a lot of haunted house features that you might see in a haunted house. And at one point it becomes clear that something's amiss when one of the girls gets cut badly after she puts her arm in one of the booths or whatever. And so right here, I'm going to have to object to a part of the plot that it was understated that something was amiss. I mean, okay, I guess by the time you see her bleeding, it's clear, but I think that it could have been delivered better, and I'm not entirely sure how, but I would have done it differently. So anyway, throughout the movie, okay, so first of all, the group arrives at the haunted house on accident, and by the time you realize that something is horribly amiss and these people aren't who they claim to be or seem to be, like who are running it, the question should arise, I think, why are there any actual haunted features? Like why aren't they just like serial killers doing serial killer stuff? Because there's plenty of fake like haunted house attractions in this place, and it seems to me like if it were reality, it would go one way or the other, right? They would either be like immediately in jeopardy, or it would be a haunted house legitimately, and they're mixing elements and it makes no sense. So the only explanation really that there could possibly be is that the people who built this thing or running it are completely crazy, and I guess that works, whatever. So still not too satisfying, and they don't really explain it very well, but it's on par, if you ask me, with the types of movies that come out lately. Not a lot of sense to be made from it, mostly sensational, and if you don't ask too many questions or look too closely at it, you can be entertained. And the burden is definitely on the viewer to suspend their disbelief, and I don't believe the writers did their job on that part. But anyway, towards the end of the movie, there's a great deal of violence, and more and more people start emerging from this compound who are clearly um, not professional, to say the least. And they are, some of them are revealed, their faces are revealed, and they're, disfigured, or they're tatted up with lots of scary tattoos. And by the very end of the movie, the lead female's boyfriend finally discovers her location with the help of cell phones and one of the people in the building with her. He gets there, and he's killed almost immediately. And it's just, I felt like some of the gore that I mentioned was overly specific and like not even to the point of being gory, and not to any other point either. But again, it's just, I feel like it could have been put together better, but it was not a bad, it wasn't a terrible movie. So I want to give it a 4 out of 6 thumbs up. And if you have time, if you're bored, probably not too bad to watch for a movie. And reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.